Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mystery Sports Podcast. And in terms of what I'm going to start with here is that we've got some brilliant news in terms of our squad selection for tomorrow as a United fan. And I think, United can go into this game feeling quite not happy, but kind of like we probably have a good chance of winning this now. Darren Fletcher has just done his press conference. I've gone over some of the stuff that he said. And the major thing is the breaking news is that Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount are going to be back in the squad. What we will probably see from them, from what Darren Fletcher alluded to, that they will have restricted minutes in terms of when they'll be playing and how many minutes they'll be playing and whatever it might be. So, in terms of what I think will happen in the lineup and things like that, we'll get onto that in a second. But that is the breaking news that Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount are back in the squad. And I think that is just the best thing that United could have hoped for since this kind of bit of turmoil period, since Ruben Amorim's been sacked and a bit of negativity, and how there's links with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Michael Carrick, Ruud van Nistelrooy, and all the questions like who's going to be the next United manager. Having Bruno back will be a huge, huge, huge sigh of relief because I think United have that more creativity there, as long as alongside Cunha. I think the chances that United will create will be fantastic as well in terms of what we will see from Bruno, as we all know how good Bruno is. And Mason Mount, just to go on him, we know how he's been in relatively good form this year. Looks like his best. Obviously, had that injury which kept him off for 2 games, which is unfortunate. But it's good to see that and good to hear that we've got those players back. So, in terms of what I will think will happen in the game, and I think United will win the game. And if we go for my score prediction, I'm going to go for a 3-1 United win. I don't think United will keep a clean sheet because United just seem to concede every time. Defensively, we're not amazing. So I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to think Bruno Fernandes is going to get on the score sheet. Cunha will, and I'm going to give Joshua Zirkzee a goal. I think he comes off the bench and he gets a goal for United and a probably well-deserved goal for the team. I think it probably will be a comfortable win, and Darren Fletcher alluded to that he wants to show a United team who he believes what his United team was like when he played for the club. So I think it's going to be a very attacking kind of performance from United, quite like controlling the tempo of the game. And in terms of obviously controlling the tempo of the game, that's what I'll see. What I'm going to say as my lineup, and what I think will happen, on like who will be playing. He said also in his press conference that his main focus is, whilst he's the manager of United, is just tomorrow's game, and then he'll speak with Omar Barado and Jason Wilcox to see what happens for the future. Well, for Sunday's game against Brighton in the FA Cup. I think personally, what will probably happen in terms of the FA Cup and who will be leading the team, I do think that United will get an interim manager in. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of minutes, or not couple of minutes, couple of days, we will see after tomorrow's game probably Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Michael Carrick. One of them two will be the interim manager to the end of the season. I think that's probably the best decision we can do. Obviously, with Ruben being sacked, I wouldn't want to see us getting a permanent manager in. I think the interim is the right decision, and someone who knows the club, probably Carrick. I would go for because I think Carrick's a better manager. Just look at his record at Middlesbrough. So I'd go for any of them both. I wouldn't be opposed to getting Ollie in or getting Carrick in. One of them who can just steady the ship, get us into the Europe. That's the main thing, and have a good FA Cup run. I think that's the main thing that United need. And then come summer, we'll get the Glasner or whoever it may be to um what's it called, to obviously start the project again. That's what it is. Um, just some news on like the assistant managers and the coaching staff who will be there. So we know as Johnny Evans has been confirmed to be an assistant manager for Fletcher. So he'll be in the dugout again. And Fletcher did say that it's a familiar face for the players who are already at the club because they played with him, or a majority of them did play with Evans last year. So it's good to see there. And, I think with Evans coming in, I think he gives us just someone who's been there recently, you get the mood up, he's a leader, and I think he could be slash a vice captain in that dressing room come tomorrow evening, and I think he'll be a good character to have in the club. And I think Johnny Evans, I mean, you look at some of his interviews that he's done in the past and things, and the way he speaks, I think he's a brilliant person to have in the dressing room. And I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see Johnny Evans stay for the remainder of the season. Whoever the manager is, I think that they will probably say, "Look, Johnny, we want you to stay in the club, just keep the morale up, things, and be a leader slash coach." Which I wouldn't be opposed to. I think Johnny Evans is a brilliant player and a brilliant coach slash leader. What and then if we go into the lineup, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Ruben Amorim thing just after. I don't want to spend too much time talking about Ruben Amorim and the board because I think I've just got a few things that I want to get off my chest. But if we're going for the lineup, I've just realised I've not done the whiteboard, so bear with me. I've got it on my iPad, but not not on the whiteboard for you guys to see. My bad. So we'll quickly write that down. It shouldn't be too big of an issue. But I think there's a bit with the lineup because we know that we know that he's not going to play a three back because that was Thingy's idea, Ruben Amorim's philosophy to play the three at the back. I think tomorrow we will probably go for a 4-2-3-1, going back to the old days under Ollie Ten Hag and things. And I think it's probably what we need to do just for some stability at the moment in time, whilst we've got no manager in. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see obviously Lemons in net. I think he's the standout. Um, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Mason Mount on the bench. So if I show you what I think the lineup will be, so I'm going to go for something like this. So I'm going to go Lemons in net, Diego Dallo right back, Luke Shaw left back, Martinez and Heaven as the two centre halves, Casemiro Ugarte as the two midfielders, Bruno Fernandes straight back into the squad. I think we just need him to play from the start. Cunha on the left, Dorgu on the right, and Shesko up top. The reason why I've not started Mason Mount or predicted Mason Mount to start on the right wing or to be in one of the attackers is the comment that he made that it's going to be restricted minutes for the two players. So I think Bruno Fernandes will start and probably get about 60 minutes of the game, which I think is a fair amount of minutes for someone who's come back injured. We don't want him to get re-injured for the Brighton game and obviously City in 2 weeks' time. Yeah. So I think Dorgu's looked very good at right wing and playing that kind of attacking role. And he should have probably had 2 goals in 2 games when he's played there. Well, obviously, the one he scored against Newcastle was an absolute peeler of a goal. And Dorgu, what was the Wolves game where he scored obviously, but he got chalked off offside. But yeah, I think he's looked solid there, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did see him start because I think there's no point really kind of forcing Mount in the squad and then him getting re-injured and stuff. I'd like to see him get some time. I've not put Xerxes in the lineup. Just the reason why I've not put Xerxes in there, I think Xerxes is more of an impact player, and obviously when he came on against Leeds, he did impact the game very well. Obviously getting the assist for Cunha's goal. So I would say that Xerxes will probably come on the bench. In terms of what we'll see on the bench in against Burnley tomorrow, I think we'll see Cheeto will be Martin there. I think we'll see Shaw Lacey there. The Fletcher brothers will both be there. And obviously, Malacia will probably be on the bench and Mount will be on the bench. What I'd like to see in terms of the substitutions, I'd like to see Obi get some minutes. I think this is the type of game against Burnley where we should win, and if we are in a winning position, comfortable position as well, the game's not drifting into Burnley's hands, then I would like to see Obi get some minutes and just get a run out on the pitch. I think Shaw Lacey will get some minutes. I just think in terms of obviously that right winger there, obviously Mount may come on for Bruno. That's what I would do the substitution. Mount on for Bruno, and then you have Lacey as the right winger. I think Fletcher will probably start. There was a bit of a jokey comment said, would the Fletcher brothers be starting or getting their full debut? And he kind of shut that down. Actually, I think was good from Darren Fletcher. I would probably I want to see Jack Fletcher play. I think Jack Fletcher will give some just he's giving the youth a bit of a chance. This is all what United's about. Like the class of '92, Rashford, Garnacho, the people who've come from the academy, giving those players a chance. And I think Fletcher against Burnley, if we are in a we're in a winning position and in an uncomfortable kind of game management mode, then I think Fletcher gets some minutes. And I wouldn't be surprised if we did see both of them out there. Obviously, Darren Fletcher is the dad, so I think he probably would want both of his sons to go on the pitch, but I would probably expect to see Fletcher come on about the 70th minute if we obviously are cruising in the game. But United, we need to definitely start the game well. If we do start the game well, like I said, I think the score will be 3-1. Um, but with a win as well, we go to fourth. Obviously, that is if Chelsea do slip up to Fulham and Liverpool don't play till Thursday and they're playing Arsenal. So I think Liverpool will slip up there, and I think Arsenal will get the win. So, and in terms of Chelsea as well, I think Chelsea will probably lose the game, not lose the game, draw the game. So if that was to happen, then United go 2 points clear of Chelsea, and it would be amazing to go 2 points clear of Chelsea because there's a bit of a gap there. Um, Obviously, Liverpool, I do think that Liverpool will lose against Arsenal. I think Arsenal at home just look like a threatening team who just win every single game. But there's one thing that I kind of just want to return back to. Obviously, I tried to stay away from it today, but I just feel like I had to get it off my chest. And that is, what have we learned about the board? What have we learned about the Ineos and Glazer board? So 2 years of Ineos, I don't trust them a single bit. I never wanted Ineos. I wanted the Qataris in. I think this has got to be the worst football board in the entire footballing world right now. There's no chance there's a worse board than Man United's board. No way there isn't. They signed the manager in Ruben Amorim, who plays a five at the back slash three back, whatever you want to say. They tried to they tried to make him switch and change his philosophy slash formation, even though they scouted him, they did their reports on him, and this was meant to be their guy who was going to take United forward. And and they sacked him because he said that he wants to do his job, and he called out the sporting director, Jason Wilcox, to do his job, and that was to sign some players in January. All he wanted was some players in January to fit the system because the current players, or some of the current players, i.e., Delo, Shaw, Ugarte, don't fit the system, and they can't play the system at all because they're useless. So all he wanted was a few players, and he's called out the board. We saw it with Ronaldo. We saw it with Ralph Ragnick. We saw it with Jose Mourinho. Now we've seen it with Ruben Amorim. You talk a little bit about the board, you're gone. Head chopped off, you're gone. Worse than Henry VIII. Honestly, worse than Henry VIII. So I just think the entire thing is a huge mess, and let's try stay away from this negativity. That's why I've only going to talk about for this much. Let's again, we've got to move on again and press the restart button again and just go and focus on the future and hopefully get the win tomorrow night. We should get the win. Then focus on to Brighton. If we get Solskjaer or Carrick or whoever the caretaker is, I think it'll be one of them two, Carrick or Solskjaer. Then we build from there, and hopefully, come Derby Day, we have a shot. But I don't think we'll have a shot at winning Derby Day. No chance at all. But yeah, like I said, I think it's going to be a 3-1 win to United. Bruno and Mount are back, which is a huge bonus. And yeah, that is it for today's video. I will be doing a match reaction, so please stay tuned in for the match reaction. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, like the video, and share it to anyone of all across anyone, and share it on platforms as well, Instagram, Twitter. What else is there? TikTok. I have started a TikTok channel. I will be posting a video on there just to say, come on, this is my official channel for TikTok. The link will be in the description shortly. Yeah. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a good rest of your evening, and make sure you like and subscribe. Catch you all in a bit.